When I first started this 100 Bowls of Ramen series, this was pretty much the extent of my ramen experience. Pre-packaged instant noodles. Now, I've been to a handful of shops here in the US that make their own noodles and simmer their broth for hours and hours at a time, but by no means could I consider myself a ramen connoisseur. So I needed to change that. And what better way than to book a 9-day trip to Japan with one purpose and one purpose only: to consume as many bowls of ramen as possible. After I'd landed in Tokyo and made my way to the hotel I'd be staying at for the night, by the way, capsule hotels, very interesting experience. Anyway, after settling in, I immediately went out in search of my first official bowl of quote-unquote authentic Japanese ramen. And here it is, Kanda RAMEN Haruka, a little ramen shop that I found while searching on Google Maps, located just around the corner from my hotel. And let me tell you, this first bowl just literally changed my perception of ramen. Ramen? Well, what the heck is ramen? I meant to say ramen. First bowl of ramen in Japan. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. First, the soup. Now, it's very difficult to tell from my reaction here, but it was right at this point that I knew I'd have a very difficult time trying to find similar flavors here in the US. It was really a pretty simple bowl of ramen, but everything just worked so well together. Now, this ramen shop is known for its shoyu style ramen. For those who don't know, shoyu means soy sauce. It actually received pretty high rankings, and I had no idea at the time. I literally just walked into the first ramen shop that was near me. But man, let me tell you, this was probably the best bowl of shoyu ramen that I had during my trip. Look at that chashu. Wow, that chashu is... I've never tasted chashu like that. So that was my first official bowl, my 100 bowl ramen tour. Random shop out here in Kanda. Shop's called Haruka Kanda, or Kanda RAMEN Haruka, something like that. Just a random shop I found walking down the street. I was reading the reviews, and apparently they specialize in the shoyu ramen. The broth was just amazing. I've never tasted anything like that. It was a chicken-based broth with a little tiny taste of seafood in the background. Not too oily. Actually, it was kind of light. The noodles were amazing. You could tell they're really high quality noodles, and they're known for their really thick slices of chashu, which, you know, I thought that they were a little different. They were a little chewier than I expected them to be. I'm used to, you know, pork belly, but this, I believe it was, I'm guessing pork shoulder or pork neck, because it was a lot meatier. And the menma, I love the menma. Actually, I loved everything about it. It was just an amazing, simple bowl of shoyu ramen. What a great way to start. If all the ramen shops are as good as this, I'm gonna be in heaven for this week. So after that first bowl, I met up with fellow YouTuber and ramen fanatic Brian from Ramen Adventures. We had a few drinks, and he gave me some suggestions on which shops I should visit next. And then we parted ways, and I found myself wandering the streets of Tokyo in the middle of the night, still hungry. I'm back in Kanda. It is now past midnight, and I'm trying to find a late night ramen shop. Actually, I think I just walked right by one. didn't realize this at the time, but I found out that Tenkaipen is actually a ramen chain with over 230 some stores located all across Japan. I have no idea why, but this tastes totally different than Asahi beer in the US. It's so much smoother. So yeah, the beer was really great here, and I met a couple really nice salarymen seated next to me, but the ramen was kind of meh. I mean, it was good, it was okay, but nowhere near as delicious as the bowl I just had a couple hours earlier. Even though it wasn't the greatest ramen ever, I did manage to finish the bowl. Plus, it's kind of rude not to. So I really wasn't expecting much going to a late night ramen joint. And it really, I mean, it was okay. Definitely not as good as the one that I had earlier today, but the company was cool. Those guys, I mean, actually most of these salarymen, they just like to party. It's part of the whole culture. They just get off work and go out and drink until they pass out, which is basically what I'm about to do now. Alright guys, if you are new to the channel and you're not yet a subscriber, do me a favor, you've watched this far, hit the subscribe button. Also hit the little notification icon, because you know YouTube doesn't like to notify you even if you're subscribed until you hit that bell icon. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. By the way, these Sapporo noodles are actually really delicious.